Good old baseball Luffy there for Aaron on the left. That is the green-purple Luffy, for those that maybe don't recognize that artwork from from EBO2, excuse me. And then we have Monkey D. Luffy on the right, blue-purple from OP11. Both players, Jonathan Job and Aaron, have fist bumped. Aaron's taken the first turn, and the king of mid-range, green-purple Luffy, is starting off with a Going Merry, drawing that card, and saying pass over to Jonathan Job.
Yep. Excited to see
And
how this is going to go off.
Oh, yes. And blue-purple still doing blue-purple stuff, saying pass on the first turn, doing nothing. I don't need to do anything right now. I'll do it all later. Don't you worry.
Yep.
And then, and there we have the, I believe that's, no, that's not when you're at sea, is it? No, it is. Yeah, when you're at sea fighting against pirates. Beautiful.
Yep. Getting that search
Gonna go ahead and get the, gonna get the 4-cost Zoro Juro. That's gonna be the Straw Hat Crew Searcher card right there. Speaking of Straw Hat Crew searching, we're gonna go ahead and bring out Nami here. The navigator that she is gonna go find her some of her friends and then add that card to your hand. It's gonna be Sanji and Pudding. One of the most powerful cards in the purple color right here.
Insane. A searcher getting a later searcher to then play a now searcher to then get your biggest deck setup card in the game. Excellent turn of momentum for Aaron. And now we just see Jonathan probably looking. I mean, he didn't need to do much on his first turn, but definitely now that you can see exactly how the curve is about to go, you got to be feeling some sort of pressure to do the same.
100%. There we see the counter of the 6K attack coming from Jonathan Job there. Doesn't want to get too low on life too quickly because this is a late game deck to end all late game decks. We want to make it past turn 8 and then some. Sorry, turn 6 and then some. I said turn 8 like 8 dawn in my head.
All good, all good. We are seeing another attack coming in. We're just seeing a base attack coming in before a Nami is played. Oh, it's a Bonclay. That's Bonclay, Altar Bonclay.
Right. Yes, it is Bonclay as Nami, but it's Bonclay.
So also, good at transformation. Fooled me.
Oh, yes. Also worth noting, too, that we see the PRBO2 Zoro coming down from Aaron here. There could be some new inclusions here. There was a new Luffy and a new Zoro coming out in PRBO2 that does support this Straw Hat Crew green-purple deck. And blue-purple Luffy kind of didn't really get much like that. The best they probably got was the 2-drop Nami. But there we see the 5-drop Zoro and Sanji there. Sorry, Sanji and Pudding there. Going to allow some value from our leader ability. And then we're going to go ahead and play the 2-drop Nami that I was just talking about for the blue-purple deck. Turns out the purple-green deck can use it too. And there we see that green Luffy that I was talking about. Jonathan Job is reading that card. In case y'all are not familiar, this card says on play during your turn, if your leader is multicolored, meaning multiple colors or more than one, and your opponent has 7 or less Dawn on the field, your opponent rests one of their active Dawn at the start of their next main phase.
Yep, and a card like this is very interesting because it keeps your opponent off curve. If there was exactly 6 Dawn he needed to use next turn, congratulations, you only have 5 now. And that's actually going to be a big issue. But yeah, so you're trying to potentially put them off curve at a later turn. And with a deck that is potentially going to be minusing its Dawn, that could be a stumbling block later. But what we are seeing here is that Aaron is sculpting his hand crazily right now. And then just applying little pokes with his leader. 6K. Just 6K neutrals. But back on Jonathan's side, he's going to actually start swinging for 7. He has had enough.
He's like, you have relaxed too long, Luffy. Luffy, am going to now punch you. Ooh, we see a peek and maybe a thinking about a potential trigger effect here. We are going to reveal the Thunder Bagua to go ahead and gain an extra Dawn during our opponent's turn. Ooh, that's nice to see.
Setting up the curve to be a little faster than supposedly. But now we've got the Bonclay swinging it again. And green-purple Luffy opts to go down to 2 life this early in the game.
Nice. And there we see the Rosie Nante coming down. Go ahead and ditch that event to draw 2 more cards. And then we're going to go ahead and get 2 Dawn set to active during the end of our turn. Just a absolutely valuable card for this deck and a big adaptation that's been made to this archetype ever since the choice restriction of the Big Mom Pirate cards and Luffy. Nami getting in on Bonclay saying, you copied my look. Get out of here. Only one of us can wear this outfit. And then we see the second Sanji and Pudding coming down for Aaron's side. This means our leader ability is now just a straight profit. We just get to make ourselves a 6K for no reason, and we get to gain Dawn in the process.
Yeah, this is actually scary. Having two Sanjian puddings on the board is where green purple Luffy definitely wants to be. The board is starting to get crowded on his side. Now, granted, not everything can attack. That is true. Like the two Namis are fairly weak, but you've got the Sanjian puddings up. Who knows where this next turn is going to explode with? And then on top of that, you have a returning Thunder Bagua, just like trigger coming from Jonathan. So it's not even like, oh, one of us got ahead and the other one didn't get there. He said, nope, you did it, I did it. And now we're seeing a Sanji and Pudding go sideways, which has to display a lot of confidence on Aaron's side because turning those sideways is potentially losing one. So I'm very interested to see if he's just okay with losing it or if he's going to defend it. But now we get the Zoro to search the top 5 again.
Yep, we used the Gear 2 there to counter out of the Sanchi and Putty swing. And like you said, the Zoro is coming down, going to be further establishing our board and establishing our hand, adding that 6-cost Purple Luffy to our hand, which is going to be a super awesome swinger in this deck.
Yeah, I mean, this is definitely a strong turn with a lot of bodies on board to keep going after this. The other weird thing that I'm looking at right now is I mean blue purple Luffy really doesn't have a lot of board presence. It's gonna be nice that the Rosinante can just have one Dawn and swing for a total of 7k power, but this is not exactly, this doesn't feel great to me right now.
But it is worth pointing out that thanks to that Thunder Bagua we checked in the life to trigger, we do have our 8 to trigger our Leer ability here, which means we will get to get that top 5 search and stack, which means if we have a Sanji, this board can go from nothing to something very quickly. So there we see the Usohashi being added to hand. And then what are we going to try to set as our draw? Or do we not want any of those cards? All right, we are putting 4 back on top. We're going to get all of our Dawn, go to a total of 10 now. It's time for the sparks to fly for blue-purple.
Let's just hope the hand is gas. Okay.
So there we see that play you were talking about, though. The Rosinante is going to get in there with that Dawn and going to be swinging for 7 at something. We're going to go at the Sanji and Putty on the other side, and we're going to go ahead and counter out with the Swiftness to protect that card. And we're like,
Yep.
I'm going to swing at it again for 7. And he's like, nope, I'm going to counter to protect it. And then we're going to pay 8, feel great. And here comes the 8-drop Luffy coming down. Going to go ahead and swing with that rush, discard a card from our hand, and potentially bounce back the Zoro Juro, if I had to guess. Yes, just get that potential attacker out of there. We're going to swing 9k into the Sanji Pudding, and we're going to lose it. Ooh, I bet you Aaron is now regretting protecting it as much as he did that turn.
Now, don't let it. Well, I mean, don't let it fool you. Don't let everything that happened fool you. We just had a casual drop of a manga rare Luffy on the table, like it was nothing, and then proceeded to just hop off. But no, jokes aside, that was great. He managed to get 2 2Ks out of his opponent's hand before just forcibly removing it via attack. So that was still good overall. But now, what has happened? We have another Sanji and Pudding coming down.
Yes.
This is why Aaron felt comfortable enough attacking with it. I was like, there's got to be some sort of like just strength in his hand. But another copy seems to be a lot of strength, and he's doing it again. He is prioritizing momentum over everything. He has gotten rid of the Rosinante from his opponent's side of the board. And the other thing that shows is can't quite see the hand. It's going a little too fast. But to let that Rosinante go right here is interesting.
I mean, if you're Jonathan, you know you're drawing 2 cards every single turn. An attack on your characters you just never care about. You want to preserve all the cards in your hand to protect your very low life total. Yes, you're a 6k base, but any attack is a scary attack. And I really respect this knowledge of I don't need to concern myself with my board because eventually my board will be so big that Aaron cannot threaten it. And that's just the kind of game plan he needs to play for because he is the king of the late game, whereas Aaron's the king of the mid range. The second we get out of the mid range, Jonathan's going to be winning every single time.
Yep. And we did get a Zoro Juro being replayed to search top 5. The board is primed again to have a pretty good amount of attacks, but that Sanji and Pudding is once again open to being attacked, and we still have the Gear 4th Luffy on board. But now,
Casual
we
SP
are
Sanji.
seeing, yup, we are seeing
Casual.
a bomb being added to hand.
Casual, just a very casual SP Sanji. No big deal. No big deal.
SP
Everyone chill.
Sanji, manga rare Luffy. This guy may have a max rarity blue purple Luffy deck. We gotta see. We gotta see as more cards hit the board.
I mean, that Sanji feels really good here. But if you don't have anything good in the rest of the top 4 to maybe stack with it, that's the real question.
I want to know. Can he show me?
Ooh, it looks
Like,
like we're putting it. Just reveal it to us. Make it. Hey guys, we're putting on a show right now. Just so you guys know. If you want to show off a little bit.
yep. And he has literally done the stacking, wasting no time. He's fanning out that Dawn. We are ready. Are those Dawn Sanjis? Is that Sanji hitting a
Those
kick?
are Nikkei
What is that?
Luffy Don.
Oh, okay. So we got Nika. I was looking at that and I couldn't quite tell. I'm a little out of date on the Dawn, guys. I'm so sorry. There's a lot to come out.
Yeah, I think that's a newer one. Yeah. On the other side, we have the original Nikkei, the full
Hmm.
moon one, which are also beautiful.
Oh yeah. The Nika jumping in front of the full moon is
The Nats
pretty
Don.
intense.
Yeah, the Nats Don. Super great. There we see just a base 6 going into the 6K leader on Aaron's side. We are now no longer concerning ourselves with Sanji and Pudding because once our 9-drop Sanji comes down, we can, I think, outvalue that card. I just hazard a guess.
Mm-hmm. And that did get blocked. We got the Usohachi coming out of hand, but now we're about to turn this secret rare Luffy sideways. But we got to see where it's going.
It could go Sanji and Pudding. I wouldn't hate that. Just force more cards out of Aaron's hand. There we see the Giant coming down, so it might have been at life. We're going to go ahead and discard the Zoro, return the 2 Don, and draw 2 cards while increasing our leader by 4K. And there we see the 9-drop Sanji playing out the Dracul Mihawk. That's why we were
Yeah,
attacking the Sanji and Pudding. We were getting rid of it the old-fashioned way, the OP1 days. Good old Dracul Mihawk on the chair saying, get out of here, Sanji and Pudding.
very
How
much
dare you
so.
look at me?
I get wanting to take his life, but like you're gonna have 2 to 3 huge attackers. I personally think there was value in swinging at the Sanji Pudding, seeing if he wastes cards, and if he doesn't waste cards, because I've got another Sanji and Pudding on the board, then you hit the Mihawk, and both of them are gone. I kind of like
Yeah.
that ability right there, but he opted to swing at life. It was defended. Very interesting. We get a Nami searcher, and I wonder how he's going to come back from this because he's got Jonathan has 3 huge bodies on the board. Like they're not non-threats at all. Like these each will require multiple cards in hand or huge extras if they don't get any Dawn investment. And I think that's going to be very scary for Aaron moving into Jonathan's next turn.
And think about it like this too. How can Aaron deal with these gigantic bodies? I don't think there's a single card in his entire deck that can safely remove them off the board. He would have to commit so many resources to maybe attack into one. And as we know, blue purple, or just purple in general, is known for having the best defensive pieces in the game, full stop. So protecting something that's base 8K, base 9K, that's kind of easy to do if it's being
Mhm.
swung at. It is worth noting, though, that Aaron does have a gigantic hand, so this game is in no way finished. We definitely have to start grinding people down, but if we can keep looping really powerful high-dropped cards like this Sanji here, or like this Mihawk, or like the many high-costed cards that are in the blue-purple Luffy deck, we're going to be just fine. Also, we draw 2 cards every turn, so,
Yeah,
that's also pretty sweet.
it's kind of a good effect, kind of. But we are actually seeing a lot happen here. Oh, we're getting a Luffy being played.
That is the 6-drop Luffy that can rush and attack multiple times. We're going to put the pressure on, and I think that's what Aaron kind of needs to do here. We kind of need to ignore the characters. They're not worth attacking into. We need to just go for the face and put Jonathan in a precarious situation.
Yeah, really diving in to check the counter value in Jonathan's hand just to make sure that, like, if he has to, and he takes it. This stage of the game, it's never easy to know whether or not your opponent is just trying to get extra cards while they already know that they won't die this turn, or whether or not they're actually being forced to take it. But swinging in with the Sanji Pudding, we're going to at least be able to see if we can check another card of the hand. Requires a 2K. All right, and we see Stealth Black coming out, and then we pass turn. Oh wait, yeah, we passed turn. Yeah.
Yeah, we're just leaving the Dawn up. We could use the Luffy to, activate its self-attack again, but it's just not worth it. The Dawn investment would be too much, and then we have nothing on our turn to protect ourselves. And we definitely need to maximize our own defense because we do have 4 potential swings here that could be pretty dangerous if they all went at our face.
Nah, it's fine. It's fine. They're small weenies.
Yeah, there's little guys. I mean, that's Sanji. Zoro's also on the board. Why are we even looking at him?
That's right. You are right, to be honest. Very valid. Mihawk over here.
would it just break your heart if this Sanji swung into Zoro right now and just KO'd it?
It wouldn't break my heart. It wouldn't break my heart. I may just close my eyes if it happens. Close my eyes for a split second. I don't want to see it happen.
Be like, what happened? Did something happen? I didn't see anything happen.
There was a momentary.
It was too fast. I couldn't see it. So, talking seriously though, I don't think Jonathan's actually gonna go face this turn, even though he does have like the scariest swings in all of time. He needs to control the board because, like you mentioned earlier, Chris, his board may be ferocious, but his hand is kind of dwindling, and attacks that can just get in for 6 or 7 are gonna be more than enough to threaten him.
Yep, just poking. We've seen it time and time again. A singular neutral poke is generally going to get rid of a 2K or something even more because just the way blue purple Luffy is set up, you have a lot of value on your defensive side, but that value is for taller swings, not just neutral swings. So we got to see how this pans out. It is his turn though, so he can really crank up the offense. We are getting a 7K swing on Zoro that requires a 2K to defend it, and we get the Uso Hachi to come out of hand. And now the only other targets, I mean, there's Zoro, there's Sanji Pudding, and there is Luffy. I am interested. I'm wondering why he didn't swing on let me see how much Sanji Pudding is just to confirm before I
7K base.
Okay,
7K
so that
base.
makes sense. He would be able to swing neutral, not 1 over. I was just a little like, But then again, he's got natural bodies in the field that'll clear that up pretty well.
Also, keep in mind too, when you're a 6K base leader, a 7 and a 6K base are basically the same thing. They both demand 1 card. Ooh, but now we see the Mihawk attacking into the Luffy, it looks like. Just going to keep forcing cards out of the hand there. We see a 2K plus a 1K Nami coming down from Aaron to protect.
It's crazy. This amount of pressure. We've already gotten rid of 3 cards from our opponent's hand. We still have minimum 2 attacks left. If he doesn't,
we can still clear the board though. I mean, we can still wipe the board thanks to the 8-drop Luffy's when attacking effect to bounce characters. So
yep,
it's gonna be pretty tough here for Aaron to actually protect everything. And now his hand went from pretty dense to 3 to 4 cards now. We're gonna swing 11K. I think that's going at Luffy. Oh, how could your wing do this to you, Luffy? Oh my goodness.
Betrayers of the Pirate King.
Literally. But that does say a lot of things, though. That means we're not going to have anything big be played from Jonathan. So the best we can probably do is probably establish a blocker if we're him, just to add to our defense. And then we see the 9K. We're not going to use the win attacking effect, and we're going to use a giant to protect this pudding. Pretty heads up play here from Aaron, recognizing that there's not much removal coming from Jonathan now. And we're just going to pass 6 Dawn up as Jonathan.
Interesting.
That's a lot of defense right there.
Yep, either he's bluffing or he literally has defense to spin, and he's like, you know what's not happening? You getting past this life.
And you know what's definitely not happening? You getting rid of any of my characters. So who needs to play anymore? I know I don't. Just go minus in hand for no reason.
It's definitely kind of weird because as it stands right now, I mean, Aaron could lose next turn. He's got a little bit of a grip still, so maybe he has 2 turns left. So it makes sense that Jonathan just wants to kind of turtle up and make sure that he doesn't lose this turn.
Right, because he'll definitely be able to decimate the board from Aaron. And ooh, we see a giant coming down, discarding the Mihawk. So that's why we didn't end up committing it, is we wanted to have it be the best giant fodder that we could have. Definitely love that play from him. He basically only spent 1 card to stop this one, but actually cycled into hopefully better counter in the process. Awesome to see. Another Zoro is coming down. Again, this is going to be the put up or shut up time. Oh, also it's worth noting too that Jonathan was probably trying to play around Dead Man's Game, which is a pretty popular card in Green Purple Luffy, and that can also rest Dawn on top of resting characters. So leaving 6 up means you can maximize your chances of having your events be able to be activated.
That is true. That is a very important fact. Don't want to be locked out of the game. So we're swinging with Zoro now. 6K, just neutral. Trying to pull a card from hand.
Classic One Piece things. Jonathan has to stop this. There's no question whether you're over countering it or not. Doesn't matter. We're just going to use a gear 2 there to stop it. Yeah, I think this is a max rarity deck too. By the way,
yeah,
that is a very very beautiful card right there. There we see the AK swing coming from leader, and there we see another Gear 2. And actually, no, it's just 7K because it looks like we did not use the leader ability to increase power this turn because we only have one Sanji
Mm.
pudding and we didn't want to go negative in terms of our Dawn. I respect that. But now it's Jonathan turn once again, and this could be the corner turning that I've been talking about all game, where it feels like Jonathan can now just decimate everything Aaron is trying to go for while having an infinite engine on his own end in this Monkey D. Luffy. He probably doesn't even need to play any more characters from his hand if he doesn't want to. Like, he can just let these 4 attacks every single turn rock, and eventually they're going to be enough to just wipe Aaron out of the game while he just sits there sculpting the perfect defensive hand turn after turn after turn.
Yeah, it's pretty powerful. I like to say the least.
It's kind of okay. It's all right if you're Jonathan, I think.
Tastes like pressure. Yeah, to be honest, this is crazy. Starting off the turn with this many large bodies really just must feel good. You can put some pressure on the pudding, see if you can get any of the hands softened, and then at any point you want to now, you can pretty much turn the trigger on and try to go for game. Just I do think that Jonathan has to be aware that every turn where he doesn't go for game is a turn where Aaron can potentially just outvalue him if he's got another whole turn to just turn card sideways.
Right. You'll always have Don and you'll always have your leader swing. That's very true, Chris. You can always demand cards from your opponent, and you don't have infinite cards. You only have, +1 every turn. But we did see Jonathan search the Nami off the leader skill. So if he's maybe unable to control the board as much as he would like to, or he had the defensive cards in hand that he wants to, he can sculpt his hand some more while establishing a blocker, which would be super huge. Like this.
Yeah, this is pain. It's pain if your name is Aaron. Unless like your name is Aaron and Jonathan's one of your best friends, in which case this is joy. Joy that you're seeing on the screen.
And it is worth noting that I did see the Dead Man's Game in Aaron's hand, and so this blocker Nami is kind of fake. It's not really there. It can be rested at any point. So definitely worth keeping that in mind.
Wonder if we'll get there though.
I mean, it's totally possible, right? Like, if Jonathan accidentally uses too much of his Dawn and doesn't have enough left over, a potential Dead Man's Game could stop him from being able to, counter out with anything. And there we see one being used, but I think I saw a second one in Aaron's hand. So could this be a bait to potentially force Jonathan to use more Dawn than he maybe has access to? That could be
I
funny
hope
to think
so,
about.
man. I hope so.
We love a
because,
good bait.
like,
We love a good bait.
Yes, we do. We definitely do. All right, we are going back into our turn. We got a blocker up, 1 life on both players' fields, except one of these fields is super menacing, and the other one is not the one with 3 ginormous blue bodies on board.
And here's where we're kind of seeing the struggle with green purple Luffy in the late game. If you don't have your insane advantage engines of Sanji and Pudding, it's so easy for your opponent just to play cards that are bigger than yours. And because you naturally reduce your Dawn so much by using your best effects, it can be really hard to allocate Dawn to characters or leaders to get over those higher numbers and demand more cards from your opponent if they want to protect their cards. Jonathan has had these 3 8K or more bodies in play for the past 4 turns, and Aaron just cannot threaten them without going super minus and probably failing to even remotely pressure Jonathan. So he's forced to swing at life. And when your plays are limited and your opponent knows what you have to do every single turn, they have way more control over you than you do over them. And that's how you win the game of One Piece, is by just controlling your opponent and making them do unfavorable things turn after turn after turn.
It looks like we're putting a Dawn underneath our leader and attacking.
You're just a good old 1K counter. No complaints here.
No, we're just
There's
trying to
the
drain the
8K
hand.
swing.
8K
Yeah, well,
swing with Zoro. All right, all right. We'll see. We'll see. We'll see how it pans out.
it's kind of all we really can do, right?
The Bagua.
And then we see a blocker Sanji coming down, which cannot be bounced by the Luffy, worth noting, because it's a 6 cost when it's in play, but a 3 cost when you have less Dawn than your opponent. But here we go, Jonathan, again, doing that thing I've been talking about, getting a +1 every single turn. At worst, at best, he's setting up probably the best, I don't know, next 2 or 3 turns worth of draws, and also setting up potentially really powerful Sanji tempo swings. and or guaranteeing the counter he wants every single turn. Like, it's just a powerful effect. And we're seeing time and time again why OP11 Luffy is the deck to be concerned with, because if you let them run away with the game, they will run away with it pretty fast.
Yeah, I think this is a nice Altar Giant. This is probably the longest time I've seen this many bodies just stay on somebody's board in the game.
And they just don't need to go in, like they'll go in when they're ready to win the game, like the pressure's on Aaron to force this game to go to a point where Jonathan feels threatened, but Jonathan knows he has inevitability on his side. Eventually, you'll have no cards in hand, no cards in field, and I'll still have these same characters that can attack you whenever I want them to. Why should I do anything other than just control your board in the first place?
Very much so. Very much so. He's got options, and he can probably taste victory in sight. There's only 4 cards in Aaron's hand. So once again, we're going up to 7 to test the strength of Aaron's hand.
And we're still not using our leader ability, so we're forced to use our 0-cost Gum Gum Jet Gatling, discarding another Dead Man's Game, which is maybe the only tool we had to maybe close this game out, to maybe stop that attack. And now we're going 10. I think we're going at life. I think the writing's on the wall.
Yeah, this
Jonathan
is scary.
smells blood in the water.
This is scary.
We take it. We only have a blocker left. We're going to swing 10 again. Or 11? Question mark?
Well, if you swing for a 9, it clears. You have to make
we can
sure
go 12, 13. Yeah.
There we go. Yeah, I was like, you got to at least add the 2. You got to at least make it so that you're 2 over what you need to be, so you can just potentially offset the 2K you gave your opponent. But we're seeing this happen.
Okay, we still have the Sanji as a blocker, but we do have the 8-drop and the Nami to attack in if we need them to. Looks like we're going to swing 9K with the 8-drop. That'll probably force the block. It does. And now we're going to swing. Nami's getting in there. It's going to be for 11, and that's game. Jonathan Job won our round 6 match against Aaron, proving that blue-purple Luffy is superior this time against the green-purple Luffy. The king of the late game beats the king of the mid game.